Nito Bravo in the 1 round, and right now we're in the second of 3 fights. Sechew Powell in the black trunks taking on Ishe Smith. Harold, how do you have it scored through 6?
Okay, Fred, 57-56, 4 rounds to 2, Sechew Powell. You know, Fred, that 4th round knockdown certainly saved Ishe Smith in this fight, because, you know, you knock a man off his feet, generally speaking, it's going to be a 10-8 round, and that extra point is keeping Ishe Smith in this fight. But I got to tell you something that I noticed. In the first minute of the fight, of every round, Ishe Smith throws next to nothing. I mean, he just doesn't punch until the 2nd minute of the round, and he does it round after round after round. It's really interesting. I don't know why he's doing it, but he is. Be as it may, 4 rounds to 2, Sechew Powell.
And Smith, you know, when he decides to throw that right hand, there's a lot of disdain and power coming behind it. You know, those are knockout punches that he's throwing, but he just needs to throw more of them.
See again, when there's in close exchanging, it's Powell's right foot established outside Smith's left foot, and that will generally result in Powell getting the better of the exchanges.
And when you get guys fighting for that left foot and that right foot in between, you get a lot of toe stepping that goes on.
And toe stepping and head butting.
Lennox, before the fight, you mentioned that Powell had hired a strength and conditioning coach as we hit the later rounds. It's really when it's going to show up, but how do you think he's holding up?
I think his conditioning is great. His mouth isn't open. His opponent's mouth is open. His opponent looks in worse shape than him, so that's great when your opponent's breathing hard and you're not, and you're feeling good.
Big straight right hand from Smith. Is that a result of his opponent, Lennox, or actually the actual conditioning?
I would say the conditioning.
You know, just what Ishe Smith wanted to avoid, being a gym fighter, you know, turning down sparring with Winky Wright, which may have helped him in this fight since Winky's a southpaw. But it appears that he's sort of the classic gym fighter, a guy who knows what he's doing, and he gets rave reviews from guys who work with him in the gym and who watch him in the gym, but doesn't apply that stuff consistently enough in the fight to take his game to the next level as a world-class fighter.
You see what Powell's doing right now? Powell's doing the wrong thing. He's standing. He needs to throw more punches, keep it moving. Right now, if he sits there and waits for Smith, he's going to get hit. This is what Buddy McGurk was talking about falling asleep. You don't want to fall asleep in there. You want to keep it moving.
Why is he falling asleep, do you think, Lennox?
Because he's running out of options. He needs to just go in there and try new things. That double jab, left hand is not working. Do other things. Have fun in there. Try new things. If one thing ain't working, try another thing that you haven't tried for the longest time. Maybe it'll work.
The normally reticent Powell.
See, in a situation like this, you know, Smith is going to get a little anxious now, realizing that he's behind on a couple judges' scorecards. Very important for Powell not to fall asleep and, you know, keep the intensity up.
You would have to assume that Smith is behind on the cards.
As we hit the later rounds here, the 8th of a scheduled 10 rounder, at what point does Smith need to turn it up here, Lennox?
I think he's planning to turn it up right now. This is very important, you know, to other fighters when they're in a fight. You know, just because you win the first 6 rounds, you still got another 4 rounds to go. So you have to keep up that intensity and still stay focused in there, because it only takes one punch to divert history.
Keep punching, punch out.
And here's Smith trying to let his hands go a little bit.
It's amazing how often simply being more active changes the tide of a fight.
Even allowing yourself to be in dangerous situations such as on the ropes, with you're not throwing any punches or your hands are down. Gotta always stay focused in there.
Hands are free, punch out.
Ishe Smith has tried to feature the right hand all night long. Neglected his jab a little bit. Sechew Powell has just been a little bit more active, throwing more combinations, getting off first and quicker.
Let me tell you, Powell threw a great right hook there, which broke up anything Smith came with at that time, and that's what you have to do. As soon as he sees him attempting to do anything, he throws that quick right hook, and that breaks it up.
Good shots to the body, though, from Ishe Smith there. And Powell comes back with a 1-2, and he continues to work his jab. 3 straight jabs from Powell.
Powell's getting a little relaxed now, still. Got to keep that intensity, hands up, chin down. Smith wants to get you against the ropes. He's working to get you against the ropes to try and plant that power shot.
Both fighters throw 6 minutes is what I need from you. Powell with an extensive amateur career, 149-7. Smith, he had 100 amateur fights. Both these guys well schooled. All right, let's break.
Anytime you throw more punches than your opponent, you're going to win the fight. There's no doubt about it.
And you think that's definitely what's happening?
Well, you know.
Anytime you land, well, most of the time, when you land more punches than your opponent and the fight doesn't end in a knockout, you will win the fight.
Well, let me ask you this. Has Ishe Smith landed the harder punches tonight?
He's landed some great power punches. I mean, you know, he's a power puncher. But as far as enough punches is concerned, no.
Ishe Smith we're talking about now.
Yes.
Ishe, the funny thing is you always heard about him in the gym landing with power. It hasn't always translated in his fights, but here you see him really throwing hard shots. I'm not sure that he's landed the harder shots, though, although in the last round or two he's picked that up a bit.
Well, it's evidently taken a lot of energy out of him because, you know, his work rate seems to sort of slow down tremendously.
Left hand very low. But he catches Powell with a right hand right there.
Lennox, Ishe's or Powell's work rate has slowed down?
Smith.
You know, against Qasim Uma, what seemed to separate Sechew from the elite was a kind of methodical way of fighting, and he didn't really step it up when he needed to. And though he did go to a new conditioning guy, and he has Buddy McGirt now, I don't see him really stepping it up here. He's winning the fight, I think, still, but there seems to be a little bit of anxiety in his corner, and I don't see him responding to that.
Well, the main thing is, you know, he's throwing more punches than Ishe Smith, and he's throwing good punches. He's catching him with some good punches. He's throwing more jabs. You know, different things need to motivate you in there, and I think this fight motivated him a bit more than other fights. As far as when he boxed Qasim Uma was throwing a lot of punches in there, and, you know, it's hard to throw a lot of punches back when somebody's throwing a lot of punches at you. You more think of being in a defensive mode at that point.
Yeah, Qasim throws more than just about anyone.
At this point, you can tell, though, Smith is starting to feel a sense of urgency as we get ready for the 10th and final